belligerent drunk speeds away from a traffic stop. A narcotic suspect tries to bail out, but gets knocked off his feet.
What?
You got the pee bottle right next to the sharp hanger. Just living on the edge, buddy. Just ran into another hunter. Just talked to him down there. Super nice guy. We're just gonna kind of leave him be. We're gonna go back across, get across to the next range on that backside. Two does just ran all the way across. They ran up that little ridge right there. They're on the back side of that little ridge. This small buck is working our way right now. Same route. I mean, he's gonna take the exact same route up to where they were. Yeah, he's trying to figure it out. Their trail. He's trying to figure out. Yeah. So Joel's glassing over that way, and I'm glassing this side. So far, I've only seen a couple does. Well, I glassed 5 does over there, and then another 2 that came up, and then this little buck that we've been on. He's been running this whole pasture. He's probably run 4 miles, just it's a good sign because he had his mouth open and he was kind of like chasing, so maybe they're starting to turn on a little bit. It's November 7th. You know, hopefully some of the bigger bucks. I haven't seen a bigger buck chasing yet. I've seen the past couple days, I've seen a lot of little bucks chasing, a lot of But 2 days ago I saw a little fork buck really chasing this doe hard, and she was just running. Maybe we'll see them turn on in another couple days. Oh, I think I got another deer here. But anyway, they've just been kind of crossing right in front here. This is kind of a cool lookout spot.
Want to see something frustrating? That's my main shooter in Nebraska showing up daylight. I have a tree stand right here. Showed up daylight at 8:30. We're in Kansas, glassing dinks. It's alright, it'll turn around out here. We got a lot of property to cover out here. We'll find a big one. The goal in Kansas, for me, is to find a big one and then hunt them. Because this is pretty open country. Like, you can glass them just like mule deer or elk. Main spot I wanted to be at is where that crossbow hunter was this morning, but what do you do? Found a good spot. Looked like it on the maps. Walk down here, sure enough it is. We got two huge scrapes right here, torn open rubs. Got this big bluff coming off the bedding. Just need to find somewhere to hang. We can get two sets in.
You can shoot here. You can shoot here. You can shoot all the way back to that scrape over there. You can shoot here. That comes down this trail right here.
Can you get a couple stands in there?
You can get two, definitely.
Public land. Just the way it is. I'm parked down here. I didn't see any trucks parked up top. Apparently he's parked on the bottom. He walked in from that way. He's planning on doing an all-day sit, so I just talked to him. I'm like, man, no problem. I said, we'll get out of your hair and have a good hunt. He's been sitting this for the last 2 days. So anyway, after those does came through, he got down and came talk to us and got it figured out. So we're headed back to the truck now. We're going to drive around, do some glassing while we still got some early daylight. But as for morning sit, pretty much shot, but hopefully we can glass something up and maybe get a stock on. there's his doe.
I was wondering. I heard something.
Oh, a way bigger buck. Way bigger buck.
Yeah.
I'll bet they went across down in that bucket. You want me to make that one?
Yeah, if you got enough water and everything. I've got some water too.
Well, good morning, guys. We opted this morning to drive around and try and find some deer because numbers have been low pretty much everywhere we've gone. We've seen a few deer here and there, morning sit, evening sit, you know, but really this entire trip we've seen maybe one buck that I would consider a shooter. Possibly, I didn't even get a really good look at him, but he was on that pond property. It was up on the bluff. Otherwise, everything we've been glassing has all been like 2 and 3 year olds. I talked to a sheriff, same thing, he was at Subway. Talked to a sheriff there, I'm like, man, have you been seeing any deer when you're driving around and on the highways and stuff? And his answer was nope. I mean, like literally he was like, I barely see any deer on the roads anymore. He said used to see a lot of deer. So for whatever reason, numbers are down. Last year I was seeing quite a few more deer than we are right now. We just got to find the deer. That's number one. But after today, tomorrow morning, we're going to be heading an hour and a half south. Try a whole different set of public ground. I haven't seen really anything, but we saw a small buck this morning on the public. 2.5-year-old buck, kind of cruising, but past that, haven't seen much.
Seen anything?
Nothing.
How about now? You seen anything now?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and chalk one up for the deer now.
You know what? Oh yeah.
Alright, what is going on here?
Alright, we are, first of all, it is November 17th, Friday. We're all packed up from the motel, just paid off our rooms, and we're gonna be heading down further south into a different unit. So I get 2 units on this tag, and we've been hunting the upper unit. I'm about to go down to the lower unit. There's some more walk-in access that I hunted last year and had some pretty good luck on. But we're gonna try it, see what we can get into, because around here it has been slow, dry, slow. It's just everything. The deer movement has been just awful. So anyway, we're gonna go grab some food first, then go try a new spot. Hopefully we can get into them. All the cows are down at the bottom. Of course. Well, that's not ideal. There's probably 80, 100 head of cattle down in this bottom, right where we wanted to sit. We can't go across the line because that's public ground. Border right there, so across the way is private. I don't know. We've seen 8, 9, 10 trucks with hunters on very little amounts of public ground. Buck right there. By no means a giant, but nothing tonight. We had that one buck, looked like a smaller buck, but winded us like 150 yards down the draw. There's no wind whatsoever. We had a pretty consistent wind when we went down in there, consistently northwest, which was perfect for that draw. And then headlamps dying.
Yeah.
And then 40 minutes of light left, wind went to nothing, like 0 mile an hour, no wind whatsoever. So those thermals switched and took our thermals right down that bottom. And if the wind would have held up, we'd have been in a perfect position. Maybe that buck would have come down the draw. I don't even know what he was. He looked younger. I just want to see a deer in front of us in shooting range, you know?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Anyway, we're gonna go get some food, get some sleep, re-game plan, resituate for tomorrow, because we've seen like 12 trucks on this public ground between bird hunters and bow hunters. So this place is getting a lot of pressure, and I'm quite sure it's not just today. I'm sure the pressure's been going on for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So
Let's
we
get
gotta
out of
kind
here.
of game plan and figure it out for tomorrow. drop over this ridge and get decoy and come right over on top of them. We gotta move fast. That's what we needed right there. All right, so we had a pretty crazy morning. As I'd said earlier, we were going to spend the morning driving around trying to find a buck that was worth chasing, had some age on him. And sure enough, we come around this corner and Ethan's like, dude, buck right there. There's a buck just standing there, standing over a doe. The doe took off when a truck came down the road, took off running to the right. So we went ahead and got our stuff ready, hiked up to the hill, hoping to get on the backside of him and maybe do a decoy and get him to come in. That buck ended up looping all the way down to the field, working down the field and hanging out in this plot, this little timber patch right here with that doe. So we're watching over him. Then over on the private side up on the hill, we see a buck come up over the hill, like nice buck. And then up over the hill behind him, stud, like really, really nice deer, old, big deer, right on the tail of a doe. He had his ears pinned back and we could hear them fighting in that draw on the private side. And here comes the doe, comes up over the hill and starts walking right towards the public, like right at the public. So I run down, try to get in position between that fence line and a couple shrubs and stuff. And sure enough, those two bucks come up over the hill behind the doe, push right up to the doe, right at the fence line. And I'm full draw right at the fence line, waiting for them to jump the fence from private onto the public. And the smaller of the two bucks cut that doe off right at the fence so she didn't cross the fence. And I'm like full draw and I'm just like, jump the fence, buddy, jump the fence, and never did. I had the decoy on the front, so they weren't really spooked. They were just kind of looking up my way. Then the buck pushes the doe off, and then about that time I see this buck down in this bottom push his doe off down into the field and over into the tree line into a way better stalkable situation. And this buck pushed back onto private even further, so went down, tried to cut this deer off, and got in position. I was only 70 yards from this deer, but didn't have any shot. Stand up. We got a double set right here. Took a little bit of maneuvering to get two stands in this thing, but I got it figured out, so we're all set up. I've got good shooting lanes out to this field. We've got scrapes all along this field. A huge scrape coming right out here on the S-curve of this river bend. The river is dry, but this is right where that buck pushed that doe in. He pushed her in down here, and we just backed out because that doe was getting a little leery of us, so we hung right here. We've got scrapes. All those other deer came in off that top and worked their way down, so this is the closest green field to where all these bucks were bedding and pushing these does around. So hopefully we have some does come into this field tonight to feed and we get some bucks pushing them around in here. So I'm trying to decide whether I want to bring the decoy down here or not. This is a beautiful little spot. Alright guys, we are all set up in the stand. We brought a drag rag in with some Tink 69 on it. I have no idea if that stuff works or not. I've never had great luck with it, but we're throwing all the cards at it tonight. We're trying to get one of these bucks that we saw this morning come in here, or a new buck. But we had a hot doe down here in this bottom. This is like a corner field that leads up to cattle pasture. Plenty of big bucks in this area. We saw 3 or 4 shooters today. And yeah, so we're excited. Set up, hopefully we can have a good evening, have something come in here. So hopefully we don't get hit with all the rain.
That's a Mondo. He's right here.
All right, we are headed in after a giant. We got a little bit of footage of him. We actually had a really big deer down in this bottom, probably the biggest one we've seen this whole trip, and went to go around the hill on him. He took his doe, ran him down the ridge, or we think so. We couldn't never find him again. And then we started glassing on the back side of the bluff, and we pulled up 2 other bucks. One of them is like a true Kansas giant, and they're bedded together. One is higher than the other by about 50 yards. My guess is they're bedded over a draw with that wind blowing up the draw. There's probably a doe bedded down in that draw, and they're just keeping tabs on her. So we are gonna work all the way around this bluff, get into that cut. On the north side of the cut, we have a southeast wind. We're gonna get on the north side of the cut and work our way up just so we can glass and see if they're still in their beds. If they are, we're gonna just stage and set up, watch for them to get out of their beds, see which way they wanna go, and then make a move. But we got the decoy on the bow. Hopefully this thing is enticing enough to bring them within range, otherwise get set up right in the draw where we can get a shot. But we've got moisture covering our steps, nice and quiet, and then we've got the wind and the rain to just kind of mask ourselves as well for movement and stuff. So I'm gonna go get on them. Freaking stud.
What just happened?
Stalked into that giant, had the wind right, everything was right. This sight's tight, hand was slipping, I couldn't get it to adjust. He turned, looked our way, picked up, bolted, headed out. Well, we've got a little bit of light. We're gonna do an ending interview here. Gonna head up to Minnesota, see the girlfriend for Thanksgiving, and what a hunt. Ups and downs the entire way through. Finally found the good deer and just didn't come out on top. This was a tough one, but that's all right. Still had such a good time. Like, this is what we're out here doing, enjoying God's creation, and just chasing whitetail is like, that's my dream. I mean, always chasing whitetail with a bow during the rut in Kansas. Doesn't get much better than that. So blessed to be out here, blessed to be doing this. God's been good to us. We're healthy, we're enjoying life, and we're gonna head back to the truck, head back to Nebraska. That's it. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.